there was some nervousness. There's some squirreliness, but it all worked out.
It did work out.
Yeah.
It did work out. I was nervous as well, but it all worked out fine. David, last time I was on a panel with you, you gave me some information that blew my mind. Now, this isn't about Grimm, but I want to talk about it.
Talk to me.
The Challenge on MTV is one of my, I'm passionate about that show. You have no idea. There's been a lot of celebrities, though, to come from that, you being one of them. But The Miz from WWE, CM Punk was also on that show. Jamie Chung, there's been a handful of you guys. How did that experience help you at all prepare for this world?
Oh my goodness. So I was in college. Do you guys know what he's talking about? I was on a reality show called Road Rules when I was,
by the way.
I mean, there was still afterbirth in my hair. I was a young man. And, disgusting. Sorry, Mom. So I was in college and I was majoring in finance. And I was at a bar and there's like this ruckus. There was a big to-do at this bar. And they're like, oh, they're casting the Real World Road Rules. I'm like, whatever. So I just walked over and ended up on Road Rules. And I was like, oh. But yeah, it taught me that there was a world outside of finance. What I wanted to do was be like a cameraman.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of thought it was cool. I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And, you know, I went, it didn't really inform my becoming an actor. There was some years between.
But then America saw that jawline and they said, you have no other option.
Yeah.
What's he doing behind the camera? But I kind of thought, hey, don't talk about road rules ever if I want to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah, it was like a different time, you know. I started becoming an actor in 2005. And now it doesn't matter at all. But yes, a lot of people got their start that way. The Miz is so lovely.
Crazy timeline. I used to work at MTV as a PA back then as well.
Way.
Yeah.
Like Buna Murray or no?
No, so Buna Murray was in the same building, but I was on, it was 26 in Cloverfield in Santa Monica, I think. I was on the dating reality shows.
Of course you were.
Next, and Date My Mom. You guys probably don't even know what these shows are, but they were.
They all do.
Yeah, that was a time. That was a lot of fun. But to Grimm, thank you guys for coming out and talking about it. But for anybody that hasn't seen Grimm, what is one sentence you would use to pitch the show?
A supernatural cop drama where the lead detective has a unique ability to see monsters where nobody else can.
That was like human AI. That was incredible.
Pretty much nailed Bitsie Tulloch right there with that.
Yeah.
She was AI, pre-AI.
When you first got to Portland, because you guys shot in Portland, I'll be in there in a couple weeks. I've never been before. But when you got
You're
to
gonna
Portland,
love it.
Yeah? Heard it's a big foodie city.
It is.
I can't wait. I cannot wait to go. But when you first got there, what was your initial reaction to being in the city? And how did that change over the 6 years you were on the show? If it did at all.
I kind of loved it from the get-go. I like rain. I like seasons. David and I had met prior. We had done a movie together maybe 6 months prior where we played boyfriend girlfriend. So we knew each other, but not that well. And we flew in to shoot the pilot together, and we were looking out the window and just commenting on while the plane was descending to land, just how, whoa, this really could look like the Black Forest. And it was gloomy and it was raining. This was like March 2011. And you just see these like scraggly little trees coming out of a swamp, and we're landing. And so we both were commenting on how, you know, it looked perfect for the show. And then I always say, and David's heard this ad nauseum, but the night we landed, because originally the season 1, it was me, Reggie, Sasha, Russell, David, and Silas. So the girls weren't up there yet. And Sasha and Reggie hadn't gotten in yet, but it was Russell, Silas, me, and David, and we all had a drink at the roof of the hotel we were staying at. And I said to the boys, this is going to go a minimum of 5 seasons. And all of the boys were like, we love you if we get to. I'm like, no, I'm telling you guys, minimum 5 seasons. Did I not say that?
She said it.
I think you have some crazy psychic ability going on because last time I talked to you as well, there was this whole thing about how you predict
Oh,
football.
the
games.
football.
You
Yeah.
watch them.
Yeah, that's a whole side football thing. And it's only with football. I don't know why. But yeah, it never fails.
So you guys went 6 seasons and 123 episodes. In the modern era of television, just for context, that's like 12 seasons.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about. When you look back, what was the time where you realized, oh, this show's a hit?
It's so funny. I was working a lot on that show, and I was just so focused on the day-to-day, getting through, trying to do the best I possibly could, that I was not in any way thinking outside of like the moment to the moment. And so I remember it was very late at night, I was on set, and our producing director named Norberto Barba came in and he said, "We just got a back nine." Like, what's a back nine? I don't even know what that is. That means they picked up like another half of the season. But I had no time to even, like, oh, I guess we're gonna go. And then another tired night, someone came in and was like, "We got a season 2. I'm like, oh, this can continue? Like, it didn't even occur to me. And the next thing you know, like, I'm way older, and they're doing flashbacks, and I look young and fresh, and now I'm like this grizzled detective, and 6 years later, like a new president. And, it just kind of kept going. I was very grateful for it, but there was never a moment that like occurred to me.
I felt like we were safe the day we premiered, which was, I want to say the end of October 2011, because it was a Friday night, and we were up against, and I at first was thinking, we are toast, we are dead meat, we're getting canceled tomorrow, because we premiered against Game 7 of the World Series, and we killed it. We killed it. So when we got the numbers that Saturday morning, I was like, oh, we're good.
I remember back in that day too, like that was like event television, you know what I mean? That was like when things were scheduled, you had to be there to watch it. I don't really think DVR may have just been coming out at that point, but that was like game changer.
That was the days of like, anytime I wasn't filming on a Friday night, whoever wasn't filming, we'd get together, usually at Bree's house, and we'd all live tweet together, and because everyone was watching it live still.
Did you guys specifically have Fridays off to watch the show? Or?
No. And David had no days off, ever, until like halfway or until midway or towards the end of season 3. He was very overworked on Grimm. Yeah.
Yes.
David, I know that you said you had a passion getting behind the camera when you started way early on in your career, but you got to fill that dream by directing, not just on this, but on Superman and Lois. You got to direct on a million little things as well. Talk to me about the transition, especially being on a show so long and knowing kind of like a shorthand with other directors. Can you talk about the transition to the director's chair?
It's exhilarating. It's really fun. When you're an actor, it's you get to go do fun, glamorous things here and there. But what you are most of the time is a person waiting in a room in a building near a river. That's it. And you're not making the choices. The grown-ups know what's going on. You're a kid, and you're like your mom's running errands, and you're just in the backseat. You have no say. So you're in like waiting brain, which is sort of boring, and you get a little grumpy, blah, blah, blah. Directing, my God, it's just time flies because you are making every choice, you're collaborating with everyone. You really get to see how little you know as an actor. You're just sort of making assumptions about what's going on, why is it taking so long, blah, blah, blah. It was thrilling. If you had put me in like an MRI, my whole brain would light up, like when an owner calls a Labrador's name. It's just like, it's really fun, it's really collaborative, and you appreciate every crew member, every department, because they're making you look so much better than you would have otherwise looked. And it's lovely. And I've gotten to direct her twice, which is terrifying because she's such a good actor that I don't want to like screw up. But I got to direct her show, Superman and Lois, which was just a thrill. And again, talk about people making me look better. She made me look very good. And I took all the credit. Is that okay? Thank you.
Now, when you're on a show like Grimm, especially working those long hours, there has to be some time to kind of, a little bit of levity on set helps every now and then.
Wind gets broken from time to time. Go on.
Wind gets broken from time to time. So I have to ask, who is the biggest prankster to kind of make it light around set?
I'll go, would it be Sasha? You?
Yeah.
Me?
I would say me or Sasha.
Yeah.
As far as the person that we left at the most lovingly, it was Bree Turner trying to get
Rosalie.
out. Rosalie trying to spit out these long German, made up spice shop, potion that they would give her. And God love her, that was funny.
God.
Yeah.
Like sometimes,
Yeah.
I mean, we all, they just stopped giving me lines eventually. They're like, just pass it to somebody. But when an actor starts sort of, you can see when they kind of go on tilt a little bit, and like, it is gonna get bad, like 10 takes into something. That was my favorite returner.
Yeah, and then you really start, it gets really
Like, oh God, don't even look at her.
Schlurfen on Bubenlam, spice,
Yeah.
Do you guys have a memory of the time where you had a tongue twister of a line yourself where you just wouldn't come out?
I mean, they would just cut away from you eventually. Like, you'll get an ADR.
No, I can't think of anything really on either of the shows where I couldn't spit something out, except for, there was a very funny incident on Superman and Lois where it took one of my kids basically half a day to say one sentence because he couldn't get it right. And he had to get it right because it was tying into a scene they'd already shot. And then I found out about it the next day. I wasn't there, but the whole crew was like, you would not believe like how long it took Alex Garfin to get this issues, many issues, but that was
Like a lot of times, people sometimes like the memories they have on the shows that they've been on and then take things with them, whether it be a prop, not just memories, but something physical. Is there something that you guys left with after those 6 years that you still hold on to now?
right here.
My favorite souvenir. Whereas my favorite souvenir, Bitsie Tulloch, you're my fave. My second fave was Nick Burkhardt's Land Cruiser. 1989 Land Cruiser. Now, we're all excited when we hear that. Looks a little better from far away. Intentionally crashed dozens of times. Barely street legal. I bought it for $200 American.
Did you really?
You do the conversion rate, I don't know, 250? So, it needed some love, but it's very fun. And sometimes I'll drive this old classic car around, and if there's a Grimm fan, they're like, what in the world? So that's pretty fun. Battle axe, double-sided battle axe.
Yeah, because you have the thing like, oh, that looks like Nick Burkhardt's car from. Wait, what? That Nick Burkhardt is what?
There were some Brazilian fans who had driven into Portland, Oregon to like see the sights of where Grimm was shot, and I happened to be in Portland driving that car up to Vancouver. I don't know how to describe what it did to their brains.
What a bad experience.
Yeah, they were very pleased.
My favorite fan experience, and I wasn't there for them.
Oh, okay, this is funny. I was in Chicago, and I was stopped on the street, and this woman said, "Oh my God, you're in my favorite show, Griff." Yes, I'm the Griff.
That's fantastic. Look, this is Fanexpo, and we're going to break the rules a little bit here. So we're going to open this up to fan questions. So if you have them, there's a mic right there. Line on up and give them to us.
Hi.
Hi.
We love your volume.
Now, hopefully everyone has seen the ending, and I'm not spoiling anything for anyone.
Plug your ears.
But my question to you guys was, what was it like to have a death scene and yet not be dead?
better than the alternative, I'd say. What do you think? You died a number of times.
But I also knew that I would be just fine. Yeah. So I guess it wasn't that weird because we knew we'd already read the script by then. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a strange ending, but we went with it, and I think they did a nice job. We found out we had one more season, and most people don't get that. And a lot of people think the last season was a bit rushed. It was, but I think we had 10 episodes to do it. 13.
Yeah.
Who's counting? 120 episodes. Anyhow, thank you for the question. It's always fun to die. Yeah.
Hi guys, thanks for being with us today. We appreciate it. So with regard to a continuation of Grimm, what would make the pendulum swing from we did this series, it was fantastic, let's leave it alone, to it can still be amazing, we have more stories to tell?
That's a really good question. What do you think, Bitz?
Well, I happen to have recently read a script. I don't know what's going to happen with it or what's going on as far as Peacock, Universal, NBC, or if they're just going to move on or whatever. But from my perception, a couple years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, the CW started streaming Grimm, and it's a free streaming app, whereas most of the apps we'd been on prior were paid. And I think there was a lot of renewed interest in the show. And so they're trying to make it work. And the idea right now, at least based on what I've read, is to do a movie length, which is kind of cute because it's 6 seasons in a movie. But if the movie worked, to then spin it off into a new series, whether it would be for Peacock or NBC, I don't know. But I did just happen to read a script, and again, it's movie length, and I thought it was wonderful. Yeah.
I want to see like a rated R version of Grimm. Can't we do that? Would be a fun thing. It wants to be that. I mean, its subject matter is well Grimm, and I would like to play the title character Griff.
No, but I mean, if you think about it, because I was talking to the person who wrote the script, I'm like, there were over 200 Grimm fairy tales and like 500 legends or something else. I mean, there are so many things still left to do, and it was just such a fun show, and it's so fun to binge. And you don't really get shows anymore where there are 123 episodes to binge. It's like, you're lucky if you have 40 of your favorite show, and that's maddening. Because I watch TV too, and I get annoyed when I'm like, it's only a 10 episode season, so hopefully it'll go. Yeah.
And obviously you guys are both interested.
Nick Burkhardt did a lot of high kicks. That is something I would shift away from. Like perhaps Nick gets up and he's like, oh, okay, there's a lesson. Hey, younger, newer Grimm, this is how you defeat them. And then I did just like wheel me back into a room.
It's like Bart Simpson just descending back into the bush. This is what you do, and done. Yeah.
Nick is more of a crosswording kind of guy now. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wait, so that's incredible. So you read a script that is circulating now, huh?
I didn't even read it.
You did not read it. I did.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's fantastic to hear.
I also am a nerd, and people like me to read scripts because I catch grammar errors.
Really?
Yes, and so I'm often sent scripts just to do like passes, editorial passes. But then because it was Grimm, when I read it, I'm like, okay, I have the spelling, the grammatical errors, and then I have the ideas, so many ideas. So I'm like, we'll go into the ideas afterward. And a couple of them were, oh, that's a good idea, I incorporated them right away. And then a couple of the other ones were, that's a much bigger thing to fold in. So if the studio likes it and we move it along, then I'll do another pass. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. That's really exciting to hear. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Brother.
It's great to meet both of you. A huge fan of the show.
Thank you.
Do you ever have trouble getting through a certain episode because it's so outrageous? Like the one where the whole cast went on vacation and a spell was put on you, and Nick's partner looked in the mirror and he thought, oh, how awesome I look, and everybody fell in love with each other. How many takes did that take? Because it just seems so outrageous and good.
Well, that's a good question, sir. Russell Hornsby, who played my partner, you know, if I were him, I'd fall in love with me too. He's a handsome dude. That was a very good example of an outrageous script where it was ridiculous. Though, I would say the times that were the most ridiculous.
I know what you're gonna say.
You probably do. We've done a few of these panels together. I mean, we're dealing with scary things that
Yeah.
CGI on screen. When you're in the scene, it's a stick with a dot on it. One of my very best friends from St. Louis, Missouri, came to visit me when we were shooting, and he's like, "I want to come to set." I'm like, "You're going to come to set, of course." And then I realized what we were shooting, and it was the Rat King episode. And it was just all of us running around being afraid of just nothing. It was like a giant, like 10-story rat. And I was like, "Hey man, you know how I wanted you to come to set? Please don't right now. This is an embarrassment." And it ended up looking really good, thank God. But that was a tough, we were like, "What is this?"
The other one, and I don't think I worked with this Vesson, but the most ridiculous Vesson was the blobfish. And then I said something to the writer about it recently, and they were like, "I think we were just thinking, like, what's the ugliest Vesson we can think of?" And they're like, "A blobfish." Yeah.
Sometimes you meet an actor in the green room, and you're like, "Oh yeah, that's gonna be the blobfish. I get it." Yeah. Maybe not in that specific case, but sometimes like, "Oh, I know who you're playing."
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, brother.
Piggybacking off that question, is there anything that you've ever read in a script where you're like, "I can't believe we're doing this," and then saw it finished and you're like, "Ah, that worked"?
Tons of times. Yeah, it's a big trust fall, and you think you know so much better, and then here's the problem though. Sometimes you did know better, and it's terrible, like on the screen, and your face is there looking like a dum-dum. And sometimes you think you pipe up and it works, so it's really hard to know sometimes. Yeah.
Hi,
How are you?
how are you?
How's it going?
Great. First of all, you look at that picture and look at the two. I don't know what you guys drink or eat, but you guys are fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You look exactly.
Only questions from him for the rest.
That's so
Thank
fantastic.
you.
You're right. We own the whole box set. We binged it twice, 3 times, including actually watching it live. But we always go back to Christmas episodes. We
Oh,
love those.
yeah.
Oh, so fun, man.
Yeah, the 3 kids that turn it. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the one
Callie
where,
Foil my fruitcake. Yeah.
the one, the one where Bree and I are getting chased by,
Rosalie.
yeah, Rosalie and I are getting chased around, and then we're grabbing the nutcrackers, like, that was very fun.
Christmas episode so good. There was one called Krampus.
Yes.
And everybody knows.
Amazing.
This guy, we had a lot of stunt performers in practical makeup. And sometimes they're not like the greatest actors, not that I was, but like that's not what they're getting paid for. This dude was exquisite. And I never met him without his makeup on. And I was straight up in a weird place. I was weirded out by this character. And I told him, I'm like, "You're crushing it. I don't want to meet you beyond this because it's so good." So yes, all
There's-
props to him.
The guy who played Krampus I was so bummed Serena and Lois never did bloopers, because there were plenty, but they didn't do it. But there are bloopers for Grimm, and he was in a blooper episode where I think he was like, "Rawr," and then like just one of the horns just went. And I was like, yeah.
Oops. My question though
That was
is Reggie has such amazing deadpan lines.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
How do you keep a straight face on set with that?
Listen, with a guy like Reg, I mean, he puts such work into the craft of acting that if he's doing something funny, I do not want to mess up his take.
Yeah.
I'll mess up someone else's take, but not Reggie. Case in point here. We flew from Portland to San Diego to do this big Comic-Con there in the middle of shooting as a cast, and then we were flying back. It's like a 3-hour flight. And Reggie was preparing for the next day's scene. And he had a script out. He would just read, mark up his script, think for a couple minutes, write more. He did that for 3 hours. Getting ready.
The smallest and most perfect penmanship you can imagine.
Correct.
Yeah.
Getting ready for the next day's scene. I don't even know what we're shooting the next day. I get to set the next day. We shoot that scene that he prepared for 3 hours. It was Reggie, Russell, who played Hank, and myself walking down a hallway. Russell and I had lines. Reggie had none. That is how dedicated to the craft the guy is, so I'm not gonna laugh on his takes, but yes, I mean, he's hilarious.
So a fun fact about Reggie, and he worked harder than
Sergeant
any of us.
Wu. This is Sergeant Wu.
Wu. Worked harder than any of us, and he killed it. But he was, he had originally auditioned for the role of Hank.
Yeah, I auditioned with him for Hank.
Yeah, he didn't get it, Russell got it, and the showrunners were like, this actor Reggie Lee is so good, we have to give him a role on the show. So they created the role of Sergeant Wu for Reggie, and Reggie was initially actors. We have different kinds of contracts if you're a series regular. There's an all episodes produced, where like we were in every episode, or there's a 10 out of 13, which is, if it's a 13 episode season, you're doing 10. There's also a 7 out of 13. Obviously, if you have a 7 out of 13 and you're shooting a 22 episode season, that means you're probably gonna end up doing 11 out of 20 or something like that. So Reggie had a slightly smaller contract in the beginning, and then he just was so good, and they would give him like that, like nothing. Like he didn't even have lines, and he'd steal the scene.
Yeah, he's a
And
brilliant
so
actor.
by the end of the show, we're like, well, we can't do an episode without him. He ended up just being in basically every episode. He was
We're
so
all
good.
gonna watch Tropic Thunder together soon, by the way. He was in that.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
There,
You've
Jim
never
Cow-
seen Tropic Thunder?
I saw
Oh, it's funny.
the fart preview. There's like a fake movie thing, and that somehow made the rounds. That's as far as I got it.
No, the
It was
Couchs, Lynn, who's one of my best friends who produced Grimm, and Jim, who co-created it. They're good. They love entertaining and stuff. And we just got a text yesterday. Hey, if you're around October 10th, we're gonna do a Tropic Thunder night with Reggie. I'm like, oh, we're totally in. Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's great. One last thing.
Sir,
Does Sasha have a clause in his contract that he takes off his shirt?
it was just a strong suggestion. Yeah.
Thanks.
Take care, brother.
By the way, thank you so much for that insight. I didn't have behind the scenes stuff. That's amazing.
That's fun. Some fun stuff.
Hello, thank you for coming here.
Thank you. How do we look compared to that photo? You know, yeah, thank you.
So, yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Everybody's just saying that.
So when it comes to like reading the scripts and seeing the what's happening, when you read the scripts for scenes like when you went berserk in the zombie episode, and when you turned into the witch and went bad, how did you react to that? Was that sort of like, yes, I get to be evil, or oh, that's a strange turn?
Yeah, I think in a long-running show, from my point of view, it's fun to be on a show that lives in a world wherein you can be a completely different character. So that was fun for me. I will say, I didn't think, when I was reading the zombie episode, I didn't think, oh, I'm gonna have to put in like eyeball-sized contacts. That was odd. Like, this is the worst. But in general, it's fun. I don't know. What about you?
Was that the most uncomfortable thing you ever had to do on the show? I remember the contacts were really uncomfortable for you.
I had a French guy on Grey's Anatomy. That was uncomfortable.
I was talking about Grimm.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
Grimm. No, it's like everything, including Frenching the dude, by the way.
Yeah.
Like at first it's uncomfortable, then you're just doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
Trying to think.
Things become easier with time, sir.
I had felt season 1 that Juliette was so passive, and I'm just so not that in my real life.
Stop it.
And it was starting to kind of be like, all right, when is she gonna find out? When is she gonna let in on the secret? Like, when am I being folded into the secret? And so I think I was pressuring them so much, they were like, all right, make her a Hexen Beast. So I was actually excited when I got to play something different. And then of course you have this sort of moral back and forth about, you know, where she was kind of one foot out the door and the whole time. And then the Eve stuff was really fun, just because we really pulled off that surprise. I think I was out for 4 episodes and then I showed up, and it was just this entirely new character. So I felt really blessed too, just as an actor, to be on the same series and be steadily employed, but I got to really play 3 different characters on the same show. So I was stoked. Yeah.
Well, with the Eve transformation, how far advanced did you know that was going to happen?
Oh, I knew when they called and they said, hey, we're gonna have, I guess, trouble, kill Juliette, and, Nick's holding you and all this stuff. And they said, and we want all the fans to believe that you're actually dead. So we can't have you in the first few episodes of season 5. And then, episode 3 or episode 4, it's gonna be this big surprise. And they said, we want it to be kind of like this. And I had seen the Bridget Fonda Nikita, what's it called? Point of No Return. And I knew that was based on the original Nikita. So then I watched the original Nikita, and I called them and I said, this is very femme Nikita. Can we lean into, lots of different wigs and wardrobe changes and like maybe skin tight black leather and that was what ended up happening. And so the wigs I thought were really fun and the outfits were fun. So yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, brother.
Again, thanks for coming. I just say thank you for talking about the Land Rover or the Land Cruiser, because I've heard that somewhere else, and I thought, I hope that's true. I really hope that's true.
Yeah, it's very cool. I still have that thing.
It's in our garage in Washington, just
She wants me to get
not
rid of it.
taking
I'm
up
not
any
going to.
room. It's not taking up any room in the garage.
So the question I have for you two is, we knew like over the series, they were slowly working up on Sasha's, Captain Renard's character being some kind of a bad guy against Nick, even though he's been kind of using Nick along the way. And by the last season, we kind of took a left-hand turn. But what did you guys think of that change? Because it seemed like we were building up to something really big there with Captain Renard, and we never quite hit that climax.
I think there was some, our writers are great and they take big swings and big chances, and some of them, that feels to me like a network note where they didn't want Renard to be bad because he's, that's kind of what it smells like to me. And it feels like the writers were going toward something else, and then the studio and network kind of wrenched it back. That happens often in long-running shows. So sometimes when you're sensing something, that's what happened.
I think he's bad. Off the record. I would lean towards
It
that's
was
probably
exciting.
what the writers really wanted.
It was exciting as a fan to watch that slowly build, though.
Yeah.
Because he knew who Nick was. He clearly did. And there was the whole stuff with the royal family.
They were going there.
And stuff. It was a shame we didn't actually got to see that, though. But
Exactly.
thanks again for the show. We all really enjoyed it. It was a big hit in my house.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm sure Sasha would have wanted to play bad too, so it's more fun to play bad. But yeah.
By the way, I couldn't help but notice your Batman t-shirt, and I don't know if you know this, but David has voiced several animated movies for DC Comics as Batman.
Can you imagine? Just an unadulterated success. Thank you.
I was really hoping David Giuntoli would show up on season
Thank you.
Batman.
That was the most polite round of applause. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
What's your name?
Steven.
Hey, Steven.
Steven, what's happening, man?
I've been a big fan of the show. I've been watching with my dad ever since I was younger. Since pretty much when the show came out. I know, for example, me and my dad were watching when you had the big reveal for the weapon that you guys have been searching for all this time.
Yeah.
Turned out to be the most just mundane thing of all time. What
Oh,
was the
are
reaction
you
on
referring
the set?
to the stick?
What was the reaction on the set or even for you guys when you got the script and you realized that was going to be the big weapon for the season?
I don't know if you know about extending mysteries in a long-running show, sir. But sometimes they're just leading to, it's a key that leads to another key. Oh, and a room that leads to another key. So yeah, it was a stick. And it wasn't even a stick, it was a piece of foam. And was it ridiculous? Who's to say? But yes.
It was not quite as, my personal favorite was the Super Soakers.
Yes,
Yes.
we had super soakers once to defeat like a volcano man.
I remember all the episodes. I love the design of the weapons on the show, and I just thought it was so funny that the scriptwriters they decided to go with that as their like big final piece for the entire show.
Yes, it was a common backyard stick. Perhaps you have one in your backyard.
Actually, so you don't know this because I don't even try life. So our daughter Vivian is 6, and she has not watched Grimm yet. She's too young, but she knows of it. And
My face will be up there when she's like looking for Bluey.
no. She's watched Gremlins a couple times, and so we'll put in GR spelling out Gremlins, and Grimm comes up, and she's like, "Daddy." But so she sort of knows a little bit about what the show is about, and she just got a big girl bike. The Guardian bikes, we love it, and it was a giant box, and it was so cute. She was pretending the giant box was a big TV, and then she would be like, "Mommy, you be the remote control and tell me what you want to watch." And then she goes, "Now say Grimm." So I was like, "Okay, do Grimm." And then she comes up from behind this box. I didn't even know what she was
No, this is days ago. I was not there.
She picks up this big stick. And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you with this stick." And I was like, "Was there a stick?" Now I know.
That stick that my 6-year-old daughter happened to pick up was surely more cinematic than the stick, which we wrote to for 6 seasons.
And then I was thinking I would text Jim and just say, "I've got great new dialogue for you.
Oh, here's a fun
I'm gonna
thing.
get you, bad guy." Yeah.
Are we done? Like,
We got like
I was
5
shooting
minutes.
something. I was shooting something in Albuquerque, like right after Grimm ended, and there was this very interesting looking dude who I thought was a Grimm fan because I'm a dum-dum. And I was hanging out with him all day on set, and his name he's the guy who created Game of Thrones. George R.
R. Martin.
Yeah, rad dude, specific looking guy, was like, "I love Grimm. The stick is a piece of the true cross, right?" I'm like, "You would think. But no, it's just a stick." But anyway, he liked Grimm. That was really cool.
He came home, and because I'm a huge George R. Martin
Yeah,
fan, he kind of didn't really know who he was. He gave you a coin.
He gave me coins from like currency from the show.
Yeah.
I'm such a dummy. He was such a cool guy.
But I was freaking out. I'm like, he watches Grimm.
I know, it was really cool.
Yeah.
And I was like retroactively starstruck. Anyway.
That's great.
Yeah. Maybe you will feel that. You won't. Brother, thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Sir.
Hi, I'm amazed that you look younger.
Look at that.
You gotta be in his booth and see it up close in person, I'll tell you
I'm
what.
trying to get back to my birth age, but we'll see.
Just a question about an uncredited role. How did it come that you played your wife's son?
Yes.
Again, if you want to spice things up in the bedroom, don't do what we did and play your wife's son. So I directed an episode that year, and there was, I guess the creators of her show, Superman and Lois, were they asking you, like, do you think you could do a cameo?
Yeah, so David had already directed, and they kind of said, we know he's like a TV star and everything, but there will be a flash forward in the future, and we think it would be really cool if David does a cameo as one of your twin sons, but when they're like in their 30s, and I said, I don't know, it's a little awkward, but I'll ask.
Absolutely, this is gonna be funny.
So then the first day we're filming, I'm sitting down, it's probably Lois, late 50s sort of a thing, and I'm sitting down at the table, and the boys are coming through the front door, and they transition from the 16-year-olds to these like mid-30-year-olds, and he got Michael Bishop's walk down perfectly, and so he's kind of bounding over to me, and I don't think there was dialogue, it was all MOS. And David just leans over in my ear and he goes, "Hey, mommy." No.
It was so awful that he couldn't stop from doing it, you know? Those moments.
It was so bad that we had already blocked out the scene, and so the four of us stand up, and it had been, we had been blocked where David and I are standing next to each other, and I said to the first idea, I'm like, get him away from me, because now I can't, that moment, we can't undo it, it's already happened. So we switched the boys so that I wouldn't have to have him be like, pinch my butt or something.
Yeah.
We had to pause it a couple times to go back and look stuff up.
Yeah.
Is that
It was a thing, yeah. Nice catch, by the way. Thank you, guys.
Look, every time I'm on a panel with the two of you, you guys are always incredible.
You're great, brother.
Listen, you guys haven't aged in what? What that bitter?
And we're out. Thank you, everybody.
You guys are amazing, for real. But I would suggest meeting them at their booth. You guys are going to be there all weekend, I'm assuming?
No, we're here today and tomorrow, and then we're out.
Got that 6-year-old we got to get home.
Today and tomorrow. You got today and tomorrow, everybody. Go meet them, create your own experience, get a picture, get an autograph. They are amazing. I'm sure you guys will be answering fan questions at your booth. Maybe?
I refuse. I don't even make eye contact. I don't speak to anybody. I'll answer everything.
What's that?
Nicole, how can I forget?
See, look at that.
Nicole,
Making
the
connections.
famous Nicole. All right, thank you all.
Thank
so
you guys so much for coming by.
Thank you, guys.
Really appreciate it. You guys are here. Thanks, man.